Hey there, Central Ohio. It's meteorologist Michael Barron's back here in the 10 Weather Impact Center, getting ready for what is going to be a pretty good snowfall heading into Central Ohio. That snowfall going to already be falling in several spots across the region and only going to continue to spread its way across Central Ohio as we head through the rest of this evening and into tonight and eventually into tomorrow as well. Obviously, you can hear my voice has a little bit of a cold going on, so I'm going to do my best to talk to you about the forecast, what's going on heading forward, and the impacts we can expect heading into tonight. So the impact forecast from yesterday remains pretty much unchanged. We're looking at late tonight through Monday, heavy snow across Central Ohio. Difficult, if not impossible at times, travel expected around the region. It's really going to be a slow period of going, especially areas south of I-70, not just for tonight, but for tomorrow as well. It's really going to be a difficult morning commute, I think, for Monday across much of the region, especially from along that 70 corridor and to the south. And one thing to note is while the snow has yet to reach us here in Columbus, when it does, it's all going to stick. The temperatures out there have been cold. They're going to stay cold, and that means what falls isn't going to melt, and it's going to stick around for several days as these temperatures don't get out of the 20s throughout the next week. The next 12 hours out there, expect that snow to reach us here in Columbus. We start to see snowfall as we head toward 5, 6 o'clock this evening. Some places south side may already be seeing a few flakes out there. It weakens kind of a bit for a small period of time, but then we get right back into increasing snow showers from about, say, 9 to really early a.m. on Monday. So it is going to be a long period of some decent snowfall across the region. The radar right now already showing some of that snow working its way through Central Ohio. Most of it is south of I-70 at this time, but you can see some of that already working its way into the metro here in Franklin County. That view from the 10 TV tower cam located right about here wasn't seeing any snow downtown, but we're seeing those darker blues start to work their way into southern portions of Franklin County. While that all may not be reaching the ground right now, there's a good chance that we'll see that increase in the amount of snow that reaches the ground as the day wears on. Same as you head out toward the west, following I-70 down through London, out towards Springfield, seeing some of those bands of darker blue. Again, all of that may not be reaching the ground at this time, but a lot of it will start to once we get more moisture through the atmosphere. As you head out toward the east, similar story, maybe a few flakes right now up towards Zanesville, Newark, but most of the snow down to the south, McConnellsville over to Lancaster, seeing those better chances for snow coming down, and then some of the really heavy stuff just starting to make its way into southern Ohio, Washington Courthouse to Chillicothe, especially down toward Waverly. Look at those really dark blues across southern portions of the 10 TV viewing area. That's where we're starting to get some of those heavier bands of snow coming in. Same as you head south to Jackson over to MacArthur, dealing with some of those heavier bands at this time. Athens seeing that snow coming down for you guys as well. We'll take the big picture of the radar here and show you just how much there's left to get through, because we are just at the beginning of this particular winter storm. We're going to be watching this for really the next 24 hours here across the region. Snow stretches all the way back out to Missouri still, and you can see that influx of moisture coming in from the south, really feeding into southern Indiana right now, where they're getting some of that heavier snow coming down. The other concern we've had at times with this system, the possibility for some wintry mix, maybe some ice or some snow, well, of course snow, by ice or sleet. We're seeing that down across central Kentucky right now, some of that making its way toward Lexington, over toward Evansville, southern Illinois, toward Paducah, Kentucky as well, seeing some of that mix. And I think a little bit of that going to travel towards southern counties as we head throughout this storm as well. So I would expect areas, especially down along the Ohio River, to be in the best candidate to see some of that ice. Down toward Pike County, Ross County, maybe even over to Athens, going to have at least some chance for ice on top of this snowfall. So we're going to be looking at very slick conditions as that moves in. I want to show a few live looks around central Ohio right now, tell you what we're looking at here in the city. I-70 over at US 42 and I-71 at 270, still pretty good right now. Not seeing the snow come down. Quiet views out there on the ODOT cameras. But as we get over toward the south, US 35, US 62, the road still mostly fine right now, but the snow is already coming down. Look at the shoulders there. You can see starting to get the snow accumulating on where those untreated portions of the road. Same as we get out toward 71 and 38. This is a little bit more toward the southwest of us here in Columbus. Snow starting to come down. You can see that entrance ramp there, already seeing some of that snow coverage reaching their locations as well. And this is, again, only be the beginning. All the snow that falls today going to stick, and it's going to make those roads worse as we head throughout the evening and into the overnight, and certainly into tomorrow morning as well. Here's what we're looking at in terms of winter weather alerts. Winter weather advisories remain in place for all the counties in purple. Areas up to the north, Bucyrus, Marion, Mount Vernon, you guys not under an alert, not expected to get as much snowfall, but us here from Kenton down toward Urbana, Springfield, through Columbus, Franklin County, Delaware, over toward Licking County, Guernsey County, under winter weather advisories this evening. The counties where we're expecting the heavier snowfall in the pink, those counties under winter storm warnings. And again, some of that does include that potential for at least a little bit of icing as we head through tonight and into tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be major ice storm type criteria, but it's going to be enough to, you put a little bit of a glaze on some of that snowfall, and it's going to be very slippery out there as we head toward tomorrow. The other concern would be heavy snow with a little bit of ice. It's going to put a lot of weight on some of the tree limbs, especially when we get winds up to 25, 30 miles per hour like we're expecting tomorrow. It's not going to be great for some of those weaker trees. You may see some tree limbs come down, could cause some sporadic power outages in those southern counties as well. But again, the good news is it's not expected to be a major ice event. Let's go ahead and go hour by hour through this system as it pushes through. We're seeing those first waves of light snow work their way into central Ohio right now. Again, could see a little bit of weakening there. I think the model here overdoing that. I would expect to see a little bit more snow coverage as we head towards 6 o'clock tonight. But then what we are expecting is to see that snowfall pick right back up as we head into the evening and the overnight hours. We'll see moderate to heavy snowfall, especially I-70 into the south. That's where we're expecting to see the most snow come through. It's going to be lighter and more sporadic the further north you get. Again, keep in mind places like Mount Gilead, Mansfield, Bucyrus, not under the alert. You're not expecting a heavy snowfall from this, but you should get some snow. As we head toward the early AM, we again see that snowfall continue to stay heavy, possibly getting to a bit of a lighter period. At least by the time we head towards sunrise, becoming a little bit more scattered and showery, but we're still going to be seeing accumulating snowfall around the region. Again, those southern counties, you saw a little bit of purple flyby there. That's where we're expecting that potential for some icing to be. Chillicothe, MacArthur, Jackson, Piketon, maybe over to Athens and Logan could see a little bit of ice added on top of this. As we head throughout the day, Monday, by about midday, areas along and north of I-70, we're starting to wrap things up. We're getting kind of to the end of our snowfall, but areas south of I-70 could see an additional period of enhancement to the snow. It's going to add to your snow totals, and it's going to keep the roads messier for longer. As we head into Monday afternoon, that snowfall eventually starts to exit. By the time we head toward Monday evening, basically all we're looking at by that point is some pretty cloudy skies and a little bit of scattered light snowfall still coming down from some lake enhancement as those winds blow across the region. But by this point, really all of the accumulating snowfall should be gone. I want to first take a quick look at a model run for snowfall here in central Ohio, closer to the metro and surrounding counties. This is a good depiction of what we're looking at. Don't get hung up too much on a single number. So like Pickerington, don't focus too much on 5 inches. You're going to be in a range right around that 4 to 7. Same here in Columbus. But the thing of importance is the transition here. Lighter snow totals going to be up across the north. We'll get into some heavier snow as you start to get to I-70, and then the heaviest snow going to be to the south of I-70. In fact, that's our official forecast here from 10 TV. We're looking at pretty impactful heavy snowfall of at least 7 to 10 inches in those southern counties. Note we got a plus on the end of that range because there is a lot of notes in the models. If the right alignment happens with this storm, we could easily get over 10 inches. Some places in southern Ohio may even see as much as a foot of snowfall. So this is going to be a pretty impactful snowfall for those southern counties in the 10 TV viewing area. Right along the I-70 corridor, we're looking at healthy snowfall as well. 4 to 7 inches of snow expected across the region. For the most part, many of us will stay under that 7-inch zone, but again, you notice we got a little bit of that pink coming into southern portions of Franklin County, out toward London as well. Some of that heavier snowfall from the south could make its way a little bit further north. We could see some of those heavier pockets in the blue band as well. Once we get out of that blue band, out of the 70 corridor, further to the north, this is the lighter snowfall, 2 to 4 across Coshocton, Mount Vernon, out toward Delaware, and then up to the northern counties. Not expecting nearly as much snowfall. Pretty low end event for some of those regions. As far as our main weather impacts go, again, takeaways later today through Monday, snow and winds gusting to 25 miles per hour. Again, mainly snow, but some ice could be possible. And then what follows this system, pretty bitter cold. So don't expect the snow to go anywhere. We're entering a very cold weather pattern across the region. I want to talk about that ice potential here real quick. Kyle, if you can help me out and just drop that lower third for a second. The heavier bands of ice potential are those southern counties. You see Piketon down there of 0.03. These numbers don't look big. That's because it doesn't take a lot of ice to cause problems. We start to get into some pretty paralyzing ice by the time we get to 0.1. So 0.03, 0.04, 0.05, that's impactful ice. It's going to make things slippery out there. For the most part, once you get further north of there, any period of icing expected to be minimal and should wrap up quickly. But again, you put a little bit of ice on top of the snow and you're creating a very slick surface across the region. The other concern, we're going to watch blowing and drifting snow. That will be an impact as we head into the next 24 hours. It's going to make road conditions worse. Winds are primarily going to be coming north to south. So expect to see those east-west routes with the most blowing and drifting. So that's I-70, a lot of I-71. Those are going to get pretty good blowing and drifting, especially by the time we head toward that Monday morning commute. Here's a look, 8 a.m., wind gust out there Monday morning. If your school or work is still open that day, we're looking at winds 25, 30 miles per hour. This is where we could easily get drifting back over the roads and blowing snow, low visibility, all the nasty stuff that comes with the wind, in addition to the wind chill pulling our feels-like temperatures down into the teens. As far as what we're looking at as we head throughout the day Monday, the winds stay pretty gusty. Even by about 7 o'clock, most of the snow done falling by this point, but some of it could still be blowing around as those gusts are still about 20 to 25. These gusts back down as we head toward Tuesday. Crews will get plenty of time without additional snowfall falling Monday night into Tuesday. I think we'll be back on track, if not by Tuesday morning, certainly by Tuesday afternoon for most locations. Heavy hit rural counties in the south. You guys may still be dealing with some travel restrictions by that point because, again, you got a lot more snow that's going to come that you have to clear out of the way before you can get back to more of a normal condition. Now, you may have seen it pop up there at the bottom of the screen. We do have a text number in addition to our Facebook feed where you guys can send in some questions. I'm going to do my best to answer those questions for you here on this stream. And answer some of those Facebook questions as well. Again, it's going to be a little bit raspy coming from me. I've grabbed my water, so I'm going to take a quick drink, look at the Facebook comment section, and see what you guys are wanting to know about this upcoming storm. That's weird, taking a drink on video. All right. We got Haley checking in Perry County. Said not seeing any snow yet. Thanks for the report for that, Haley. Oh, shoot, I just lost the comment section. Come back here. John says, weather like this, glad he is retired. You can't beat retirement, especially when we have those heavy snows coming right back in. Patty, I think you're sending us a snow report, Patty. Saying 2 to 3 inches of snow in Lucasville already. Thanks for that report. Appreciate that. Got a couple questions. I'm not sure what Tessa's asking about Kirksville, but she's bringing up Kirksville in terms of probably snowfall. what we're expecting to see out there. Got a question in there about Westerville as well. You're going to be in the likely 4 to 7 inch rainfall for snow out there. I think you'll be on a little bit of the lower end as you're further up toward the north side of the region. Yeah, there's another reply from Tessa asking how much Kirkersville is expected to get. You guys are right along in that I-70 corridor. I would say pretty firmly in that 4 to 7 inch range, pretty much right smack dab in the middle of that. We've got a couple people who are asking about snow emergencies and what level we're expected to get to. As of right now, don't have any emergencies related to this new storm, not to my knowledge. What we will see with those is those get issued by the local counties on the county level as travel impacts pick up. So they won't issue snow emergencies and restrictions until they see actual impacts from the snow coming down. So once roads get bad, once the deputies and the EMA and all those guys start to get reports in, ODOT gets reports in of how the roads are doing, they'll make those decisions kind of in real time. So we won't get those ahead of time, but we will expect those to come out as snow picks up across the region. Monica saying no snow yet in Pickerington. Thanks for that report. Jennifer says snowing heavily in Circleville. Let me back up a few screens. We'll go to the satellite radar here. There's live looks out there across the region. We'll go to the satellite radar, and you can see that heavy snow, again, working its way across southern portions of Ohio, really mostly south of I-70 right now, which is what we were expecting. We were expecting that snowfall to hit first in our southern counties, and then really not till after 4 o'clock to start to pick up in the I-70 corridor. So if you're along the counties that have I-70 running through them, and areas a little further to the north, between now and about 8 o'clock when we're expecting that snow to start to pick up. Kaylee asking about London. London, you guys are again in that pretty firm 4 to about 7 inch range, but southern portions of Madison County, you do quickly get into that 7+. So again, if we see any of those heavier bands push a little further north, I would expect that to impact you guys as well. Misty saying no snow yet in Lancaster. Yep, not surprising by that. No snow in Baltimore yet from Kimberly. Thanks for that report. Grove City, Judy, we are expecting again to get that snowfall here in Franklin County, mostly in that 4 to 7 inch range. There is some chance some of that higher snow may drift further north, so it's not impossible. But that's one of the things we are looking at out there as well. Teresa with a good point saying just be careful if you have to drive. Absolutely be careful if you have to drive out there. Overnight tonight, I think is going to be some of the worst roads, and it's going to be some pretty messy roads out there by tomorrow morning as well. So definitely going to need to drive slow and use caution. Lynn saying stay safe, all definitely stay safe out there. Delaware County, you guys are on the lower end of the snowfall. So again, don't expect too much in the way of additional snow for those northern counties. We'll go back to this one here, actually. We'll put the model snowfall up there. Again, don't get hung up too much on the individual numbers, but this is going to be a good range of what we can expect to see across the region. Those 4+ totals here in Columbus. Once you get closer up to Delaware County, you're mostly in the 2 to 4 range. So don't expect to see as much heavy snowfall as you head off to the north. You guys are going to be seeing a little bit less in the way of snowfall. Your snow may not really coming down heavy really until we even get past sundown tonight. So it's going to be kind of a little bit lesser of an event for you guys up in Delaware County. Mike saying plenty of snow coming down Fayette County. It says he might plan to build a snow fort once it stops. You can't really beat that. I mean, if you got a snow day, you got to get out and enjoy some of that snowfall. I'll put up the current weather alerts out there as well, so you can see kind of where the impacts are expected to be heaviest. Again, Purple County's winter weather advisories, those are going to be lesser impact. Winter storm warning is going to be higher impact. Mariah saying Hocking County got some light snow coming down. Coshocton County, you guys are kind of on the northern end of this. So you're mostly in that 4 to 7 inch range for you guys. As for Mia, as far as Dublin, Sebastia asking about that, I would say again, you guys are in that 4 to 7 inch range as far as Dublin goes. Angel wanting to see the snowfall timeline again. So we'll go back to that hour by hour. It's going to start off light, especially I-70 corridor right now, heavier further to the south. You can see those heavy bands. The model, when we get to about 6 o'clock, kind of weakens it. I would tend to disagree with this. I think the area right in here is probably going to have some decent snow coming down. I'll draw it out on the screen. I'll do the John Madden here. Snow. So yeah, snow coming down in this area, even by 6 o'clock, even if we see a little bit of a weakening in that. As far as after that goes, though, here comes the real heavy stuff. Between, say, 8 o'clock and midnight, we really get into some of that heavier snow coming down across central Ohio. You can see those really dark blues in those southern counties. As we push past midnight, still seeing heavy snowfall coming down in most areas. It's really the northern counties that are going to get the least amount of snowfall out of this system. As we get toward about 2 o'clock and beyond, into the morning, we'll start to see a little bit of a weakening trend. I do want to back this up a little bit here, just so you can see that ice potential through the overnight. Down at the bottom of the screen, we'll kind of see if I can add a pause here and highlight some of that snowfall. It's right down there along the bottom of the screen, where you can see some of those purples coming in across the region. This is the area I would expect to see the best chance for some of that icing as we head through the overnight. Realistically, I think that may go a little bit higher. I would say really kind of below this line is going to have your best chance at ice. The further south you go, the better that chance for ice is going to be. I think along the Ohio River is where we're going to see most of that snowfall coming. And then as we get our way into tomorrow morning, it starts to get a little bit more showery. We pick up another heavy band in the south as we head through the midday into the afternoon, and then we'll push it out as we head toward the evening. Again, snowfall forecast coming with this, pretty good accumulation. We're talking 4 to 7 in that blue band, 7 to 10 plus. Wouldn't be surprised if we get some of that plus in those southern counties. 2 to 4 once you get up toward Delaware, and then 1 to 2 off further to the north. Got a question in there. Not sure if I see who it came from, but they were asking about, will this push further to the north? It's certainly still a possibility this system could slide to the north, but I will say where the snow is right now and where the models have the snowfall are pretty good in alignment. So I don't know that we're going to see that necessarily push all that further off to the north. Let's see. All right, I'm going to switch over to our text line. We got a good amount of comments coming in into the text line as well. So we'll go ahead and start answering some of those as well. Got a question I think I just answered yours about, will it move further to the north? There's a chance, but I think those chances of it shifting significantly are reducing as we start to get into the snowfall. So we're not expecting that to become as big of a problem. Do I think we'll get a winter storm warning in Columbus? It's a possibility. We're still at that advisory level right now. I think to get upgraded to a winter storm warning, I think we would have to start seeing some of the heavier impacts, the heavier snow actually materialize. I would be skeptical that the Weather Service changes it now that the snow's already started to fall, unless we see that really ramp up in the next couple of hours. So not impossible, but I don't think it's super likely that we see many changes to the distribution of the alerts as of right now. Got a question about Delaware County. Seems like they're asking, seems like they're sort of in the border on the snowfall. Also says, hope you feel better. Thanks for that. I feel pretty good. Honestly, it's just my voice is not following that suit. But Delaware County, you guys are really in the border of the forecast zone. So any kind of shift north or south, even a little bit, even by a couple miles, is going to impact your guys' snow totals. You can very quickly drop if the system stays a little further south, and you could very quickly go up if the system moves a little further to the north. So you guys are kind of in that border zone. In fact, I'll show you that closer view of that snowfall model as well. Again, you can see those lighter blues, those 2+ up across northern Delaware County, and then as you get down to Westerville, you can see some of those heavy 4+ totals come in. So again, there's a lot of potential in Delaware County to see very different amounts of snowfall. Getting some more questions about the snow emergency levels here in Ohio. Again, definitely would expect to see some of those issued as we head into the next 24 hours, especially as you get down further to the south. Those counties, I think, are going to have the best chances of seeing some of those snow emergencies. And really what they are related to is the different travel conditions that we have across the region. So a level 1 snow emergency means you're going to have hazardous road conditions, blowing and drifting snow. Roads could be icy, but there's no actual restriction on travel. It's more of just an advisory, like, hey, roads are going to be bad, expect them to be bad. Once you get to level 2, those roads are hazardous, blowing, drifting snow. The official statement is you have to believe travel is necessary to be on the roads. You should also reach out to your employer or your school if you're under a level 2 and see if you're required to go to work on that day. Once you get to a level 3, that's the top end of the snow emergency. All roads are closed except for emergency personnel. No one else should be driving unless it's absolutely necessary. Think like medical emergencies. Those are still obviously fine for you to be out there, but use extreme caution. Employees should contact their bosses to see if they, again, have to come in, because, I mean, at that point, you really shouldn't be traveling unless you are in one of those critical emergency-related industries. So good question about those emergencies. Thanks for sharing that one as well. I'm asking about snowfall amounts in Lancaster. Again, you can see it there. You guys are in that higher snowfall total. You guys are likely going to end up somewhere north of 6 inches would be my prediction for you guys. You're more in that 7 to 10+ zone. Norma, also Lancaster, asking about school closings. I'm not aware of any yet, at least not that I've seen. I mean, we don't get them here in the weather department. They come mostly to the news department. But I would not be surprised to see school closings out there. I think we already have some closings. There we go. Okay, sorry about that. If you had a little bit of, might have cut me off there. I'm not sure what the last thing you heard was. But Norma was asking about school closings. So, yeah, again, school closings, go to 10tv.com/closings. That is where you'll get a full list. We also have the snow emergencies listed there. Several counties have put those level 1s in place as of right now. And then Adams County actually has a level 2 in place as of right now. So again, those will come out. 10tv.com/closings is the best place to find those. Indian Lake asking about snowfall. You guys are on the lower end. You're up toward the northern side of the storm. Lindsay sending a report, Valley View, saying there's nothing coming down yet, but thanks for keeping you guys informed despite my coughing occasionally and lack of voice. Thanks, Lindsay. Pickerington, again, you guys are in a decent snowfall zone. I would expect to see at least 4 to 7 for you guys in there. saying, someone said they worked at the Children's Hospital, wondering what their drive will be like 5 a.m. That's going to be a pretty snowy drive. It's going to be, by that point, probably not super slow because we're kind of on the beginning of the morning commute, but in terms of slow from traffic, but it will likely be slow from snow-covered and slippery roads out there as well. Got a report from Athens saying it started snowing there 3:30 this afternoon. Thanks for that report there. Got a couple comments about the snow emergency levels. I appreciate those coming in. I said earlier, we weren't really going to see many of them until we start seeing impacts out there. Looks like we've got a couple counties that have gone ahead and put out those slick road level 1 type snow emergencies. So again, it does look like we have a second level 2 for Lawrence County coming in at this time as well. So again, some of those counties, especially on the southern end, I would expect to see those snow emergencies definitely pick up as we head over the next several hours. Those southern counties right along the Ohio River, Adams and Lawrence County both, because you've got the snow coming down and you've also got the risk for ice down there. I want to take a closer look actually at the radar. We'll take a look at some of those southern counties here real quick. And then I'll tell you what we will do as well. We'll kind of recap and start from the top here for those that may have just joined us in the stream, because we got to wrap this particular broadcast up by 4:40, and then we have another broadcast. We'll be on 10 Plus at 6:30 tonight, and then we'll be on normal television at 11, 10 TV Plus at 11, and we'll have another one of these updates on social media, YouTube, Facebook, 10 TV Plus, about 9 o'clock tonight. You can see that heavy snow coming down across southern portions of the state. Pretty decent snowfall. 2 counties that I see for level 2 travel emergency. Those are Adams County right there, and then we got Lawrence County down there. So they've been under those heavier snowfalls for some time. Not necessarily in the 10 TV viewing area, but if you are traveling south, be prepared for higher travel impacts across the region. Again, like I said, we got about 6 minutes left in this stream, so I want to restart from the top. We'll go through everything with the forecast, and then hopefully get you guys informed and ready for those broadcasts again later today as we get more updates coming in. So we'll start back out with those weather impacts across central Ohio. Late today through Monday, heavy snow, difficult at times travel expected across the region. We'll see that snowfall continue to pick up as we head into this evening, with more snow coming back to central Ohio. Again, difficult travel, definitely going to be a thing to expect with this system. As of right now, here's the view from Columbus. Maybe saw a flake past the camera, but the real heavy snow really not here just yet. What does fall, that's all going to stick across the region. Don't expect it to melt anytime soon. We're talking temperatures in the 20s, not just today, but for much of the next 7. We're not expected to really see those temperatures go back above the freezing mark. Next 12 hours, staying cold in the 20s. Snow starts to pick up as we head toward 5, 6 o'clock, continues as we work our way through this evening and into the early part of tomorrow. So expect a snowy, a slow, slippery commute out there across the region tomorrow. Taking a look at where the snow is right now, we're seeing that snow heaviest across southern counties, but we're starting to see some flakes make its way into Franklin County. Again, we got some reports from the southern side of the county really saying not much in the way of snow coming down right now, but we're starting to see it on the radar, which means it's up in the atmosphere. It's probably evaporating before it gets down to the low levels. But as more of that snow falls, it'll become more moist. Less of that snow will evaporate. So we'll see more reach ground level here in the next few hours. Same as you head out toward the west, Madison County, southern part of the county has the best chance of seeing snow right now. Out toward Springfield, seeing a little bit of snow as well. Pushing off over to the east, still pretty dry Licking County. Muskingum over to Guernsey County, pretty dry. Snow coming down further south that you go. Places like Fairfield County, down toward Athens, got a report again, and that text line of snow coming down. MacArthur, Chillicothe, Waverly, Jackson, heavy snow coming down right now. And again, that heaviest snow going to continue across the southern counties over the next several hours. Here's the big picture: the mix, the ice, the sleet, the stuff you really don't want. That's in central Kentucky, southern Illinois, southern Indiana. A lot of moisture coming up with this, so that's going to head our way, produce heavy snow. In terms of what we're looking at for the ice potential, it's really those southern counties. Can't rule it out, but not expected to be the main factor across the region. Let's take a quick look at the roads. Again, here Franklin County, still looking pretty good. You head down to the south, US 35, US 62. Roads okay, but the snow's coming down already. We showed you this view at the start of the stream, I-71, 38. The travel lanes were okay then. 20 minutes later, travel lanes. What are we getting here? We're getting those 2-track lanes. That means snow's accumulating on the road despite the treatment, despite the traffic. So this is going to likely get worse as we head through the evening. I-71, again, further to the southwest. Those winter alerts in place, advisories in the pink, advisories in the purple, warnings in the pink. The pink counties are the ones we're expecting the heaviest snow to come into hour by hour as we head through tonight. Snow pushing in. Again, I don't think the model's doing a good job showing this part here. I would expect to see more snow by 6 o'clock. As we head towards 7, 8, 9, heavy snow starts to pick up. That continues into the overnight hours tonight, into the early AM tomorrow. Again, as we head into the evening, maybe some of that ice down in those southern counties. I think Piketon, Jackson, you have the best chance of seeing that ice come down. As you get toward Chillicothe, MacArthur, Athens, Logan, even McConnellsville have some chance for ice, but it will drop as the further north you travel into all snow. As we get into the morning, the snow becomes a little bit more showery, more scattered, but we see a pickup in activity, especially south of I-70 as we head into the evening. Areas along and north of I-70 by the afternoon should be back to dry conditions, at least for the most part. We'll push the snow out, at least mostly, by the evening commute Monday. Cloud cover and a little bit of light flurry activity will continue into Monday night. Snowfall totals out there, again, don't get hung up on these individual numbers. So like, don't get hung up on 4. In Columbus, we're kind of in a range, 4 to 7. Same out in London, don't get hung up on 5. Delaware, don't get hung up on 3. What we're showing here, lighter snow to the north, picks up at I-70, increases the further south that you go. We'll show you that big snowfall map again across all the 10 TV viewing area. Those southern counties, 7 to 10 plus, with some ice a possibility. I would expect to see at least a few spots in those pink counties that have totals over 10 inches. Totals drop the further to the north that you travel, but notice that range is pretty tight up to the north. We could see that move a little bit in the next 12 hours, but again, we're going to see that chance become less likely as we work our way through the rest of tonight. I'll show you those weather impacts again one more time here as well. Later today through Monday, snow, gusty winds up to 25 plus miles per hour, blowing and drifting will be a possibility. Mainly falling as snow, but some ice could be possible. Then bitter cold next week, so the snow's not going to go anywhere in terms of melting. Again, thanks for joining us here today for this latest weather update. We'll be back on 10 TV Plus tonight at 6:30 for our regular newscast. We'll have another weather update at 9, and then we'll be back at 11 as well. Until then, guys, stay safe out there.